Hey, what's up, dudes? It says, my voice still sounds like it's gotten rammed by 50 hippos in my backyard, but we're doing a lot better, that's for sure. I went ahead and played a little bit of Season of Blood off cam because I never played Necromancer before. Don't worry, you didn't miss too much except my garbage tier gameplay. I effectively saved your virgin eyes. I'm not following any builds for my Necromancer, just winging it and seeing what works with my new vampire powers. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump into my quick impressions video on Season of Blood. Starting your game off in Diablo 4 wouldn't feel complete without doing some spaz shit like running in circles, dude. I'm also the kind of player who enjoys cosmetics, so naturally the first place I run off to is the wardrobe. These two combinations of cringe end up making me feel akin to a school shooter people avoid at all costs. I like earning my cosmetics through achievements and dealing with difficult challenges in the game, but Diablo 4 is that kind of game you either pay to look cool or look like a homeless person in Kivo shod your first time around. I have noticed legendary items dropping a lot more frequently in Season of Blood. Maybe it's because I'm level 19, but I made about 4 or so tunes over level 30 and I never noticed legendary items dropping till at least mid-20s or higher in previous versions of the game. Hell, I had one tune who received its first legendary item from Vigo in the campaign. This is a nice change, however, as it allows you to really start ramping up your tune from early on, so this is a W for me. Diablo 4 also wouldn't feel complete without having items filling up your limited inventory space, so we are introducing you to the new seasonal items called packs. Packs are items that you attach onto your armor slots, and the cleansing acid is used to remove them from your armor. This is how you activate your vampiric powers. At least Blizzard finally removed gems from the inventory tab and over to the materials section, so that's a W for me, but an L on how long it took them to patch this into the game. Plus they added new inventory sponges into the game, so overall I'm feeling pretty neutral about it. More like bittersweet in a way. I feel like the items that are dropping are overall more rewarding early on in general. Even with the increased legendary drop rates, just seeing a bunch of extra rare items this early in the game is pretty good. It almost seems as though Blizzard is listening to its fanbase and actually cares, but then I remember it's a multi-billion-dollar company focused on profits, and the only reason they are making these quality of life tweaks is to make sure their views on Twitch don't drop below 400 active viewers a day. So this is a quick look at the new vampiric powers your character receives early in the game. I'm just checking them out a little bit to see how they can synergize with my all-blood necromancer build, and I'll expand on these a little bit more later in the video, and the packed items as well. By the way, if you are wondering where to access the vampire powers menu, it's in your character inventory tab, right above your items on the top right in this tiny icon. I spent 10 minutes looking for it in the skill tab, assuming it would be there. I want to blame this on UI oversight, but maybe I'm just too stupid to figure small things out like that. This is going to be a bit of a mouthful, but so maybe I made a mistake logging into a character that didn't have all the renown unlocked, but I'm noticing random waypoints other than the default main city's waypoints you received in Season 1 if you explored them all post-launch. I have no idea why Blizzard just doesn't take your most advanced character's progress and apply that to all of your tunes, but trying to figure out anything Blizzard does is like trying to figure out why guys desperately want to reconnect with their exes. It's just not a good idea, dude. Anyways. Only a couple of minutes into the game and I'm already headed back to the wardrobe because the scythe didn't match my armor. I seriously just enjoy the cosmetics in this game, but the colors are very disappointing. Seriously, Blizzard, when are you gonna release premium colors in the shop, bro? I can't wait to drop $100 on that. Pretty early in the game, I'm not focused on making gold, and more so on acquiring materials by salvaging everything. I'm the kind of player who enjoys open world mat gathering, but if I'm burnt out from doing that, at least I got some peace of mind knowing I salvaged some mats to make up for it. Take a look at my skill tree in despair, you turbo nerds. Yeah, that's right. I have no idea how to build a blood necromancer, and I'm content with that. It wasn't until level 20ish I realized Blood Lance was a missing skill tying this build together to make it somewhat viable. This is a type of gameplay I enjoy. Just jumping in and try to figure shit out on my own two bootstrings.
As I'm sure you know.
Yeah, buddy, that's right. I do know. Millions of gold wasted here at the Occultist. Feels like you're a pain to get screwed, but not the good type of screwed you get from an alien travel center in Nevada. So is the Tree of Whispers still this GIMP feature? Let's go find out.
It is done.
Okay, so that was a decent chunk of experience. Not sure if it's because I'm low leveled, but if it gives that same amount at higher levels, and I can see doing Whispers as a viable means of getting experience. Unlike previous versions of the game where it felt like a waste of time. Also, the loot isn't so bad for a common cache. 3 rares, some more mats from my beloved material hoard, and holy hell, look how many gem fragments dropped. If this was still Season 1, I'd be pissed at how much inventory space that would take up. Here it is, boys, the vampiric powers. As I like to call it, vampire slots. Vampire gotcha, or vampire's version of nightmare glyph leveling grind. Now, while you're grinding away in Blood Harvest, trying to level up your vampiric powers, you can be rest assured that you will still have to do those beloved Nightmare Dungeon grinds for your glyph leveling after. In all honesty, I never had an issue with the Nightmare Dungeon grind specifically. It was just the only thing you could really do in the endgame for good experience in previous versions of the game. At least we get 2 different things to do now, but if you skip the campaign and focus on the new Season 2 content in the early part of the game, you're still left grinding the Nightmare Dungeons in the end game anyways, so Blizzard gets a W for effort, but an L for somehow winding up with the same problem. Here's to hoping they keep some of Blood Harvest's mechanics in the game, so when Season 3 comes out, there will be even more things to do. I know I should probably go over some of these vampiric skills, but this video is more aimed at me trying to figure out if any of these changes in Season 2 are worth giving a damn about. See if they fixed any of the issues, that maybe stopped playing only 2 weeks into Season 1, for example. Feel free to pause the video to look over the skills, but I will give a very brief description on how to level up your vampiric powers at least. Essentially, you just farm Blood Harvest events for Potent Blood, and click the big Spend 25 Potent Blood button at the bottom of the tab to start your very own unique vampire gacha experience. Seriously, it's that easy. Whereas sometimes you unlock something really cool for your build, and other times you get a big poop stain on your lip with things that are irrelevant to your build. This is also how leveling up your vampiric powers works as well. Kinda similar to how you level up your glyphs in Nightmare Dungeons. You must rely on RNG to pull up the skill you want to upgrade. In other words, you get to grinding those blood harvests, dudes. Packs are also required to use certain vampiric abilities, so make sure you look closely over your armor to see if the pack bonus it offers to activate these new vampiric abilities that you want. If the armor you have is really good but has the wrong set of packs on them, then this is where that acid comes into play so you can wipe the packs off a piece of armor and apply your own packs onto it. Let's check out some of the Blood Harvest gameplay for a bit. This particular Blood Harvest was taking place in Tyrmare. I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, so I decided to teleport on over and try it out. Pretty cool to see one of my vampiric powers activating, causing enemy mobs to flee in terror with clear indicators of that effect. I'm starting to feel like playing a Bloodmancer in a game with blood-sucking vampires was a bad call. Don't get me wrong, I know my build isn't fleshed out, but I'm thinking the vampires may have blood resistances causing my attacks to hit low. This is just a thought, as other times I'm melting certain mobs that are vampires, so hard to say, but wish there was more clear indicators of what is actually happening in combat, rather than me needing to look down at my skill bar to see debuffs. By the way, I just learned the power of Blood Lance against single targets, and I will be using that shit more. Let's see if sellers still feel like a waste of time. Yep, still a waste of time. In all seriousness, it's hard to say at such a low level, and to be fair, it did give at least a couple of yellows, but damn, opening that chest felt so disappointing. Still getting a feel for skill rotation, but I'm starting to figure out one that works for me in certain situations at this point. I'm no longer feeling like I'm just smashing my head on the keyboard to do things. Yo, here's a secret cache, by the way, which requires a secret key to open it, and the secret keys are acquired by defeating Bloodseekers when incurring enough blood lures to lure them out at a sanguine altar. Freaking mouthful. Also, I picked up a couple of Pack of Eternities here, which allow me to add that pact to any armor piece I want. Granted, the armor has room for it, of course, or I can cleanse it with acid so I can apply it. Here's one of my vampiric abilities activating when I'm standing still for 3 seconds or longer, providing me with a barrier. Gather him up and burn him down. Man, I'm really starting to enjoy this Bloodmancer. Okay, so I have enough of bloodlures taken off the undead bodies of vampires, which I can now use at Sanguine Altar to lure powerful foes named Bloodseekers to do battle with. These two Seekers are particularly annoying, Frost and Poison combo. A good reminder when you're chilling with toxic friends. I'm gonna pipe down a bit so you can watch the fight. Okay, that was fun and annoying at the same time, and oddly enough, that's what makes me enjoy video games that can deliver that kind of experience. Don't water down the game too much, where I can steamroll every enemy, but also don't make me so unbelievably weak, where I have to metagame just to play. I'm not against super difficult games, but for an action RPG, I want to feel my character grow stronger with every level and every new gear piece I equip to give me proper feedback. If I'm still managing to die after that, then that's on me to figure out how to make my character better. At this point, I think my Bloodmancer is doing well with multiple mobs, but is lacking in the single target DPS region. This is largely due to a single point into Bloodlance, but given time I hope to lessen this issue. I just figured to show you guys another little clip of me fighting against two Bloodseekers. These two are a little different. One has the mortar affix and the other one is a teleporter. Still, as you know, I'm having issues with single target DPS, so these fights are really dragging out longer than they should. But it's really not bugging me. I'm having fun anyway, and I'm enjoying my time in Season 2 so far. This is what I'm calling the epic treasure goblin chase. I couldn't think of any other character, any worse spot to have done this at. The flies constantly slow you down. I have low resource regeneration, so I can't be pumping off my bigger spells. And the necromancer class itself just has low mobility. Talk about a great time. Now, I know for a fact that treasure goblins will teleport away and despawn if you rush up on them on your mount, so this is one of the reasons why I didn't just get on my horse and chase him down. I'm not entirely sure if it's just the initial interaction with a goblin, with you on your horse, that causes him to despawn, or if it's like that even after you engage with him and then mount up again. I just had no way to be sure at that moment, so I decided to play it safe and just truck it out on foot. I was pretty determined to get this guy. But you know what? It's okay, because sometimes you have more fun in games by doing things the unoptimized way than just trying to do everything the optimized way. You get a little story out of it and something to talk about. Man, all of that for a ghetto-ass wand. Oh well, maybe the next one will be better. I should get into the story a little bit, or the lack thereof. Unfortunately, I do not have the starting of the Season 2 questline recorded, but you're not missing out on anything of note because it's kind of a dry start. And mainly due to the silly character we're about to talk to now, Hunter Eris.
hard to predict exactly what awaits inside. It could be more vampires, it could be the magistrate, it could be nothing at all. You should be ready too.
So she is some kind of vampire hunter tracking down, well, vampires, and the beginning of you meeting her was recently after you were bitten by a vampire, and she just shrugs it off with a casual, oh well, we got shit to do. I thought the Season 1 storyline was weak, but first impressions of Season 2 storyline is making me rethink the bar. It's nothing to write home about, and as basic as my writing skills for a YouTube video, hold on. I think I could have done it a bit better actually. Maybe. Anyways, I'm gonna skip ahead to a couple parts of the dialogue between you and Eris.
Mister, please. Give me another chance. No!
Killed. We seem to have complicated the situation, you and I. The magistrate was the link between us and the leader of the vampires. This makes things annoyingly more complicated. You should scour this place for anything. Logs, documents, whatever you can find. I'm going back to Ked Bardu to follow up with some contacts.
And just like that, she is off again.
It's good to be alone. You have much to see.
What a weird time for her to leave. The pacing is just bizarre. I mean, why come all this way down just to leave before the end? Wasn't coming here crucial? Either her off-screen work is that important, or she has complete confidence in you to deal with the rest of the dungeon. Either way, as we go further into this dungeon, you will see why Eris deciding to leave at that exact moment is even more strange, or perhaps even lazy writing. I guess what I'm feeling mostly from the story so far is that it just feels rushed.
Child of the eternal conflict, waiting for the victor to claim them as servant. Answer me something. Have you ever felt like you were born with a noose around your neck, tied by your mother and father, enslaved by demons, threatened by angels? How do you fight the infinite when you are finite?
No cap, bro, that line was delivered pretty damn well. I'm feeling the voice acting behind this mysterious voice in my soul. This is probably so far the only saving grace keeping me attached to the story. Just like the antagonist of Season 1, except way better. This dungeon is giving me flashbacks of Nightmare dungeon grinding, but I am excited to get to the end to see more of the mysterious voice character. I seriously hope all the grinding I did in the early versions of the game didn't turn me off the dungeons entirely. I haven't really been into any dungeons yet because the Blood Harvest has been really fun so far. Starting to really refine my skill rotation here and knowing when to use what ability for better efficiency. I really was not enjoying the Necromancer class at first, as I prefer to play rogue classes in action RPGs, but this Bloodmancer is starting to grow on me, big time. So let's see why Eris was so quick to leave.
Come closer. I can feel the blood within you. is like no other. They are the blood-seekers of my revival, and the harbingers of my ascension, just like you. I am seer of the ancients, and you will serve.
I refuse.
Impossible. Why haven't you changed? I know your blood. I understand now. Blood like no other, indeed. It won't matter. You deserve more than to be chained to mortality. And the more you thirst, the more you will understand.
Okay, well if you're feeling lost, don't worry, so am I. And it's my first impression this season, so I haven't seen any more of the story up to this point. That being said, now I know why Eris left. She didn't want to waste her time fighting a handful of mobs without a boss fight. Speaking of Eris, let's go check on her to see if she can salvage this anticlimactic first appearance of the ancient vampire lord.
Take these supplies and hurry. The vampires may hit your camp within the week. An ancient? But you spoke to it. Walked away despite your vampirism. We could use that. We might need to use that.
Explain clearly.
Vampires were once said to be among the ancients, but it's... that was a long time ago. I don't know much more than that. But I do know of an ancient burial site in Hawazar. If we can find a vampire of that era in any condition, and potent blood, there are rituals I can attempt.
Well, I can definitely say the story isn't why I'm playing Season of Blood, but I do think the overall feel of the game is a tad bit better so far from what I have seen. But something tells me I'm gonna run into the same problems I felt in Season 1. I don't think Diablo 4 is a bad game by any means. It's definitely a good game to pick up and play for a bit, and then put down just like any seasonal game. Even with the new content in Season 2, I don't think it's enough to change the bland feeling it has quite yet. I think I will give this game until Season 6 or so before I pull the plug on it. Until then, I'll keep checking back every season to see how the game's doing. If you feel the same way, please comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you liked the video, like it, and if you're picking up what I'm putting down, then please subscribe for more videos. I like sharing my thoughts and love to hear others' opinions. It's fun for me. Helps me sort out the chaos in my head to better make my case for the reasons why I like or say the things I do. Anyways, you guys be safe out there. Peace.